Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about mono green dinos in Pioneer. I'm very excited to bring this list to you today, but before we hop into the deck list, as always, let me know in the comment section below after the video, what do you like about the list? What do you like? What do you hate? What would you change about the deck? And as always, let me know if there's any suggestions that you have, and they potentially will be featured in an upcoming video. So just let me know in the comment section below. So, a little bit of backstory. Obviously, for those who have been watching the channel for a long time, I really love dinosaurs. It's like my second favorite creature type in Magic. I love playing Gruul dinos. It's like my main pet deck for the most part in Pioneer. But I've always wanted to play mono green dinos. Is it as good? I'm not quite sure. But so this version of mono green dinos is a lot rampier than, for instance, like the other deck I have on the channel. It's just a little bit different. You know, it goes a little bit bigger for the most part, which obviously you guys will see that in just a second here. But anyways, let's hop right into the deck here. So we are playing 4 Arboreal Grazer and 4 Commune with Dinosaurs as our 1-drops. Arboreal Grazer is a 0/3 for 1 green beast with reach. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So I know a lot of people are surprised that we are not playing the elf package here, and there is a main reason for that. Simply put, we're a Kahira deck, so we are going to be playing the Arboreal Grazer instead. I also decided to play Grazer just because it helps us put lands into play, which is relevant for another card on our list, but also, you know, if you get bolted, you kind of get time walked a lot of the time, like if your terminal land elf gets shocked or whatever, which Grazer obviously still, you know, makes 3 mana, technically, you know, as long as we hit our 3rd land drop. So anyways, we're playing 4 Arboreal Grazer. We're also playing 4 Commune with Dinosaurs, 1 green sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a dinosaur or land from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Commune with Dinosaurs really good. Helps us, you know, hit our land drops on curve. We can also help dig for some gas for more creatures, you know. It never feels like a really bad draw for the most part. Commune with Dinosaurs, just a great card. We're also playing 4 Thunderherd Migration. 1 and a green sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Thunderherd Migration, reveal a dinosaur card from your hand or pay 1. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. You know, we get a Farseek with dinos. Farseek is, you know, a 2 mana, you know, ramp spell. They don't really make those very often in Pioneer, and we get to play one in Thunderherd Migration. So, and revealing a dinosaur is going to be very easier for us. And even if we don't somehow have a dinosaur, you know, we can pay 3 pretty easily for the Thunderherd Migration. So, very great card to be playing. So, this is sort of our lower end dinosaur package. Our first 2 that we're going to talk about here are like our ramp dinosaurs. We're playing 2 ranging raptors. It's 2/3 for 2 and a green. Dinosaur with enrage. Whenever it's dealt damage, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So the way I kind of look at rampaging raptors is it kind of runs like a hold down the fort kind of creature. You know, obviously whenever it's dealt damage, we search for a basic, which is pretty good. You know, like, obviously, if we need it to be a defender, it's pretty good, just because we obviously get ramped. That's kind of how I picture ranging raptors. It just helps us ramp, for the most part, hold down the fort, so that way we can put out some bigger dinos, chump block, you know, obviously get a basic land from it, that kind of thing. We're also playing 4 Topiary Stomper. It's 1 green for a 4/4 Vigilant Plant Dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Obviously, it's a dinosaur that helps ramp us. But it can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. So, obviously, late game, you know, once we get a lot of not dinosaurs, well, yes, dinosaurs, but once we get a lot of lands in play, then we can start attacking with the Topiary Stomper. Just a really good card in general. Obviously, having the typing, you know, we can hit it with a Commune with Dinosaurs. Just a fantastic card in general. We are also playing 4 Ripjaw Raptor. It's a 4/5 for 2 green dinosaur. Whenever it's dealt damage, draw a card. So, pretty simply put, Ripjaw Raptor, again, kind of holds down the fort for us so we can play our bigger dinosaurs. It's also really good against aggro decks. You know, it can help us draw cards against them. That's pretty much the main reason why we're playing Ripjaw Raptor. It's just a really amazing dinosaur in the deck. Why wouldn't we play it? So, this next slide here is some of our bigger dinosaurs. We are playing 4 Gigantosaurus. It's a 10/10 for green. That's it. That's what it does. It's a 5 mana dinosaur, does what we need it to do. It's a big creature, obviously. I really love Gigantosaurus. It's one of my favorite cards overall in Magic. And we have another card that can kind of help us out with Gigantosaurus, which will be on the next slide we'll talk about. We're also playing 4 Carnage Tyrant. It's a 7/6 for 4 green dinosaur. Can't be countered with Trample and Hexproof. One of my favorite cards in Magic. Once again, this whole deck is just a bunch of my favorite cards overall. And for those who were asking, the reason I didn't put Tyrant X Rex in the deck, pretty much just because of one reason. It's 7 mana instead of 6. And I really think that in my particular local meta, I think Carnage Tyrant overall is just better than Tyrant X Rex. I understand T-Rex has haste, you know, but that's why I'm playing the Carnage Tyrant over the Tyrant X Rex. We are also playing 2 Ghalta Primal Hungers. What's a dinosaur deck without Ghalta? It's a 12/12 for 10 green, legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur. Ghalta costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control, and has Trample. It's just a really, really big trampling dinosaur. What's not to like about it? Obviously, if we have a Gigantosaurus or a Carnage Tyrant, it's very, very easy for us to play the Ghaltas. And what's great is with Topiary Stomper, even though it cannot attack or block if we don't have enough lands in play, it still helps us cast our Ghalta, which is fantastic. So that's our entire dinosaur package, but we have one more card to talk about. We're also playing 3 Garricks Uprising. It's 2 and a green enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have Trample, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So obviously great with Gigantosaurus, for instance. It gives all of our creatures, most of them already have Trample, but the ones that don't have Trample, Garricks Uprising is fantastic to help boost. Obviously giving Gigantosaurus Trample is fantastic. Whenever we play another dinosaur after this, or even if we already have a big dinosaur in play, we get to draw a card with Garricks Uprising. So overall, just really, really great. I love Garricks Uprising. I've been looking for a deck for a while to play this in, and I think this is definitely a very, very good deck to play it in. So that is our entire main board here, except our lands. We're going to go ahead and talk about those now. We're playing 2 Turntimber Symbiosis. I know it's not technically a land, but I do consider it as one. It's 4 green sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them on the battlefield. If it has CMC 3 or less, it enters with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And the flip side, we can have it untapped if we pay 3 life and then it taps for a green. Just a great card in general. If we're making a bunch of mana, we can play it as the Turntimber Symbiosis. But if not, we can also just play it as a land. Great card either way. We're also playing 2 Castle Garenbrig. It's a land, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest. We can tap it for a green, or we can tap 2 green and tap it to add 6 green. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creatures. So, 2 cool things about Castle Garenbrig. Well, one, obviously, if we're playing multiple creatures, we can tap it essentially for 2 if we do 2 green, which is really, really great with Carnage Tyrant, because Carnage Tyrant is 6 mana. So if we have essentially 4 other lands and a Castle Garenbrig, we can make 6 to play our Carnage Tyrant, which is part of the reason I'm playing it over Tyrant X Rex. And then obviously with Ghalta, helps cast Ghalta a little bit, can make that extra mana boost that we might need potentially. Just a fantastic card to be playing in general. We're also playing 2 Lair of the Hydra. Enters the battlefield tapped if you control 2 or more other lands. We can tap for a green, or we can tap X and a green to make it an XX green Hydra until end of turn. Also, what's really cool about this is if we have an Garricks Uprising in play, this has Trample. Finally, the downside that everybody's hated for so long, Lair actually will have Trample if we have Garricks Uprising in play. So, kind of like a cool little small thing on there. But anyways, 2 Lair of the Hydra, fantastic land. Rounding out our lands here, we are playing 1 Boseiju Who Endures. Again, I talk about this card quite a bit. It's a free land to play, essentially. Why wouldn't we play it? We can channel it and destroy something that's very problematic for our opponent. Great card in general. We are playing 2 Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. So, I know a lot of people, I think, will be mad that I'm not playing 4 copies of Nykthos, but there's essentially 2 reasons. One, we're not really a Nykthos deck. We're not making a bejesus amount of mana and doing all these super crazy things with it. That's why we're playing only 2 Nykthos. The other reason, I guess, is Gigantosaurus is green. So, unless we can at least break even with the Nykthos, it potentially sometimes can allow us to not cast our Gigantosaurus. So that's why we're playing just 2 copies. It's not the main focus of our deck. It's not a huge deal if we don't have the Nykthos. But I'm still playing 2 copies because it is a very, very good land. Then, rounding out our mana base, we're playing 16 basic forests. So, a lot of our lands are going to be coming to play untapped, which is huge for us. As the spicy land of the day, I decided to play the Rivals of Ixalan forest. I really like this in general. It definitely when I think of Ixalan, I think this is like one of the cards that I personally think of. You know, these are actually some of the basics I have on Magic Online. They're just really, it's just a really good art. You know, I could definitely see a dinosaur hiding somewhere in that jungle for sure. So, anyways, that is our entire main board. We're going to hop into the sideboard here. We are playing one Kahira, the Orphan Guard. It is one of our companions. What's really cool is you have to have all your creatures in your deck have to be a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast. And we're playing dinosaurs, and then we're obviously playing the one beast in Arboreal Grazer, so we get to play the Kahira. It's a 3/2 with Vigilance, and each other creature you control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance. So, you know, we can occasionally give ourselves some Vigilant dinosaurs, which can be pretty dang solid overall. We're also playing 3 Deathgorge Scavenger. It's a 3/2 for 2 and a green dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile target card from a graveyard. If a creature card is exiled this way, you gain 2 life. If a non-creature card is exiled this way, Deathgorge Scavenger gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I really like Deathgorge Scavenger on our sideboard. I low-key think it's actually my favorite card in the sideboard. I really loved Deathgorge in Standard when it was there. I played it a ton when it was in Standard. I bring it against mid-range and control decks. It does sadly die to Stomp, which is definitely a little bit of an issue for the most part, but regardless of that, Deathgorge Scavenger is a fantastic card to play, and so let's just play Kahira. We're also playing 2 Torment Crypts, obviously fantastic card if we're bringing it, you know, both of these we bring it against graveyard decks for sure, but Torment Crypt is very good. Any graveyard decks that our opponents are playing, we're going to bring in the Torment Crypts. Finishing out our sideboard here, we're playing 4 Tail Swipe, 1 green instant. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you cast this spell during your main phase, the creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then those creatures fight each other. Obviously, it's just an instant speed Prey Upon. That's technically better. Well, you know, if we cast it in our main phase, it gets +1/+1. There's a number of different fight spells we could play, and I decided to play Tail Swipe mostly because I wanted an instant speed fight spell. I know there's like Primal Might is a really good one to play, but I wanted an instant speed one as opposed to regular. Also, it's kind of cool because there is a dinosaur on the art, so it's very flavorful. Then we're also playing 2 Heroic Intervention. 1 and a green instant. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. This one's more of like a personal metagame pick for the most part, but, you know, obviously given all of our permanents, hexproof and indestructible can be really fantastic in the right matchup for sure. Then rounding out our sideboard, we are playing 3 Atraxas Fall. It's 1 and a green sorcery, destroy target artifact, battle, enchantment, or creature with flying. I decided to play the Atraxas Fall in this slot. I you know, kind of thought about what I wanted to play, but overall I decided with the Atraxas Fall, you know, mostly because there's a lot of creatures with flying in my metagame I wanted to take out, but also hitting an artifact and an enchantment is fantastic for only 2 mana as well. So that's why we're playing the Atraxas Fall. Overall, just a really good card to be playing. So that is the entire deck. I feel like we went through it pretty fast overall, but this was definitely one of the more unique decks I think I've ever built on the channel for the most part. I've been wanting to do mono green dinos for a long time, and I'm glad that I finally got around to it. You know, just, you know, at least the day of the recording, you know, I was thinking, I'm like, man, I've never built a mono green dinos deck on the channel. So I'm really excited I was able to bring this list to you. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the list? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change? And as always, the deck list is in the description below if you'd like to check it out for yourself. And on screen there, I will also have the Gruul Dinosaurs deck tech that I did a little while ago if you'd like to check it out for yourself. I'm Commander Crane. I'd like to thank everybody for watching me, and I'll catch you in the next one.